One job I did want to do while the boat was sitting on the drive was to make a tent. I previously spent a couple of nights on the boat under an old tarp tent and then under a cut down pop-up tent, but neither of these were really effective. I had an old sail, I don't even know where this one came from. It's a big sail, and I reckon there was enough material there to make a decent proper tent. So I've measured myself sitting in the folding chair, and the minimum headroom I need is 1.2 metres. So I've got to hang the boom at about that height for a decent tent. Touch more, I think. That's about 1.4, which should be fine, give me enough room to move around, I think. But it doesn't look so high that it's going to be out of place or too much windage. So what I think I'll do is I'll have the foot of the sail as the triangle at the back, keep the rope in that, and then just let the sides hang down and see where it ends up. So that's basically it. It's clearly not the right shape because this corner here is short, so I need to take a bit off the top and put it on the other side. This side's okay. Quite like having the rope around this end. So this is what I've come up with. It's just very basic. Stretch the sail over the top of the boom. Got it as taut as I possibly can. I've just used these clips to pull it down, but what I'll do is I'll put 4 loops on the edge and then put some hooks on and just use some short little bungees to hold it down. Unfortunately on this edge I've sort of run out of material because of the shape of the sail. It's not quite big enough, but the excess that I've taken off the top, I can stitch that on and make an extension down there. So I reckon the next job is to draw a line around the gunnel and then leave enough for a thick hem, cut it off and sew it up. Now I'm marking 2 lines, one at 30mm and one at 60mm, which will give me the double fold for a decent hem around the edge. Just marking it and then joining up the dots. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to fold this hem in and then just put masking tape on to hold it in place for now. Now this is what I've got so far on the tent. It's still very much experimental phase here, just sort of lashed up and stuck on with masking tape. But the basic idea is to have 4 webbing straps over the boom, which are fixed and tensioned by bungees, and then have the sail over the top sewn on down to about this level, so that the edges can be rolled up, because this needs to be more of a sunshade than a rainproof tent. So that's sort of the idea so far, and at the moment I'm just trying to get it tensioned and find out how it sits. I'm not quite sure how to
do the front part at the moment. I've got all this sort of sail here, but I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, whether I want to try and bring it forwards or whether it would just be a lot simpler just to cut it off at the start of the boom here and just have a square over the boom, and then maybe make a separate piece that can go on the front if needed. Still very much work in progress. Just having a job getting it sort of taut at the moment. I think I actually need to stitch something to make it properly attached, because at the moment just sticking it on with tape, everything's baggy, which is not sort of what I want at the moment, but it's just taking the plunge and actually starting somewhere, I think. So I gaffer tape the old sail onto the straps in what I reckon is just about the right position, and now I'm just going to stitch them on. I need a couple of passes with the sewing machine, but I'm just going to do one and see how it fits. This is proving to be very difficult, especially with someone with very limited experience on the sewing machine. But it's attached. It may not look pretty, but it is attached. I think this gaffer tape would have actually made a permanent fix, to be honest. It is so sticky. So I reckon something like that. Just stuck on with masking tape at the moment. Masking tape's been absolutely brilliant for this project. Seems to stick really well to sail material, but it's still quite easy to peel off, which is good. But yeah, I reckon something like that at the front, just give a little bit more shade. Then I could maybe make a panel to go across the front if I really want to. Might just leave it open, plenty of ventilation. Well, you'll have to excuse the music coming from across the road, but this is the tent then in its finished state. This is as it is wrapped up to the maximum, so it's got a little sort of triangular bib on the front. The sides are all rolled down, and it's got a little sort of triangle privacy screen hooked up on the back. And once again, this is the boat with the front bib removed and the back screen removed, so that should give a bit of airflow right the way through the boat, which should be nice. And here it is with the sides rolled up. Should give plenty of shade, but still allow plenty of airflow through the sides. It should be useful, I think, when it gets really, really hot. And there's just one more degree of stripping back. I put another little rope tie on the side, and then I can roll the back portion of the side right the way up, and just have the shade on one side. Now obviously this is untried, and I will probably have to make some alterations along the way once I've actually used it, but I'm happy with the way it's gone. It's a fairly good starting point, and I've taught myself some skills on how to use a sewing machine as well. Some of the seams I did first are a bit ropey, but towards the end I was actually getting the hang of it, and they're actually quite good. But it's all together. I don't think it's going to fall apart. And I've left it up in the drive for a couple of nights. It's been fairly windy, nothing's given way, so I'm fairly confident it's going to work. And I even had a little bit of sailcloth left over, so I made a little drawstring bag to keep it all in. That can go up the front behind the cargo netting with all the other soft bits and pieces. Job done.